If your shoulders still look flat no matter how many presses or lateral raises you're doing,
What the?
I get it. That was me too. Until I found this weird cuff attachment on Amazon. It cost me less than $8 and it's completely changed the way my shoulders look. So in this video, I'm gonna show you the exact exercises I use with this tool to finally unlock that capped shoulder look. Let's go. When you perform lateral raises with dumbbells or cable attachments, it's a little bit more difficult to line up the resistance with your delt's natural movement. The most resistance that you're gonna experience is towards the top of the movement where your delts are the weakest. You get very little tension on the bottom where your delts are actually the strongest. This kind of limits you from getting the most out of the movement. Dumbbells and cables, they have their place. I'm not knocking them, I'm just giving you another option to try out. Here's why I think these things are fucking badass. These cuff attachments are awesome because you can align the cable's resistance perfectly with your shoulder's line of pull because the cable force is applied directly to your wrists instead of your forearms. I love these things because I'm able to get a greater range of motion because these cuffs allow you to position your arm more naturally, especially at the bottom and the top of each movement. Every single time that I try these things, I'm able to get non-stop tension throughout the entire range of motion. And I also feel like I'm able to isolate my delts better because the cuffs minimize the assistance from other muscles like your traps and your forearms. Now, I got this idea from Joe Bennett. He's the hypertrophy coach on YouTube. I love his content and I've learned a lot from him. So if you want to check out his content, I'll leave a link in the description for you. Well, let's get to the exercise. Well, exercise 1 is a Y raise. These are kick-ass because there's multiple ways to do them. The first one is if you do it seated. Place your seated bench a little ways back from the cable attachment. Doing this is gonna make sure you're not bottoming out. This is gonna allow you to get constant tension during each rep. Set the cable height near where your waist is and attach the cuffs. All right, so another thing that you can do with these is standing Y raises with cuffs. This is gonna be the same principle more or less, but you're gonna set the cable height near the bottom of the machine or right where your arms at your sides would be. You can stand around, I'd say 3 to 5 feet back. This is gonna add more tension at the top of the movement so you can hit your mid delts while they're shortening. I like using a weight I can reach failure around 15 to 20 reps at the furthest position. Here's a bonus tip. Once you reach failure, you can extend the set by walking a little closer to the pulley and continue pumping out a few more reps. All right, the next one is lying Y raises with cuffs. So you can perform these lying on the floor or you can lie on a bench. I like using a bench because I can go through a larger range of motion. Also, another thing that you can do is if your gym has a seated row unilateral attachment, so that's when you have 2 attachments, a cable here, you can lie down on that. I'll just do lateral raises like that with cuffs. Or if they're far enough back, you can cross them. The next one is cross body raises with cuffs. Now these are amazing because of the kick-ass stretch you get at the bottom of the movement. Everything that you're doing, you're gonna want to allow yourself to get as much stretch at the bottom, as much contraction at the top as you can. You'll notice a difference if you try doing it that way if you're not already. One thing I like doing on these, when I reach the end of a rep, I try to sit in the stretched position for a few moments, maybe 1 or 2 seconds before starting another rep. This will absolutely obliterate your shoulders. You're sitting in that stretched position, and then when you go up again, your whole shoulder is moving that thing, especially because it's attached to the wrist. And I just love these things. You can take these a step further by supersetting them with cuff raises behind your glutes. And again, you're gonna wanna get a good stretch at the bottom, just like everything else. Another thing I like doing for the rear delts is rear cable raises with cuffs. Now you can do these in a few different ways. One is rear raises from a high pulley, rear raises from eye level, and rear raises from below eye level. And on top of that, you can do these bent over. These are just some of the ways you're able to use these cuff attachments to target your rear and side delts. If you guys wanna see more videos on these, let me know and I'll create more content for you on this. But here's a few important tips to keep in mind with these, and then I'll show you some ways to incorporate these into your workouts with supersets, advanced techniques, and things like that. So keep watching, I'll share that at the end of the video. If you wanna make your shoulders look bigger, focus on your side delts and your rear delts. Have you guys ever met someone who has side delts or rear delts that are too big? I haven't. So in my opinion, it's almost impossible to get this area too big. So I like crushing these areas way more than my front delts. Not to mention, if you're doing a lot of pressing movements for chest and things like that, you're gonna bring that front delt up anyway. So I would not worry about it too much in your delt training. So when you're trying to smash your side delts, try raising your arms in a 30 to 45 degree scapular plane. So if I'm facing the camera like this, most guys you'll see doing lateral raises, they're just doing it like this, or they'll even do this. Pay attention to these and see how you feel, but when you have your arm in more of a 30 to 45 degree plane, also another bonus tip, you can lean forward. I like leaning forward probably about 10%. So if you're standing there, this is how normal guys do it every day that you see in the gym. Instead, lean in just a little bit, not too much, but about 10%. And then you're gonna bring your arms in like this, more of a 30 to 45 degree plane. The shoulder muscles are pretty small, so it's tough for most dudes to isolate them with enough resistance to actually force them to grow. This is why I prefer doing all these movements in the 15 to 25 rep ranges. I like using a few advanced techniques also to blast my shoulders. Here's a few of them. So you can try doing a rest pause. When you reach failure on any of these movements, rest at the bottom of the movement for about 5 seconds. And I like doing it 1001, 1002 count. And you're doing that in a stretched position. So if you're sitting here with the side cross lateral raise, I'm gonna sit here for 5 seconds in the stretch position, holding the weight. I'm not gonna just let the weight go and walk off for 5 seconds. I'm gonna keep my hand attached to the cuff and I'm gonna let it sit there for about 5 seconds. And then I'm going to keep completing as many reps as I can until I reach failure once again. When you can't perform anymore, try performing 5 to 10 partial reps. So if you're doing lateral raises, you would go here. Partial rep is just half of the movement, just as much as you can physically move it. So you can hit a rest pause, you rest for 5 seconds, then you blast that out. And then once you hit failure there, you can continue going with a few partials. You can do 5 or 10 of them. It's nasty, you're gonna be destroyed. It's not easy to do. It's gonna make everything a lot more difficult. Where this really shines is when you don't have a lot of time to work out. You need to blast your shoulders or blast your chest or something like that and then get the hell out of the gym. Rest pauses and partials, they're absolutely awesome. You can also use drop sets. When your shoulders are fried, drop the pin 10% and keep hammering out reps. They're especially useful when you're doing something like cables. You can perform 2, 3, or even 4 drop sets to completely destroy your shoulders. And you can combine all these things together. Now, here's some supersets I like using for my side and rear delts with this little badass piece of equipment. So try this first giant set, all right? It's 4 movements in a row, like I've said. The first one is Y raises with cuffs. You're gonna hit 15 to 25 reps to failure. Immediately after you get done, you're gonna do cable side raises with cuffs across your body, like I've showed you. You're gonna hit 15 to 25 there, and then you're gonna hit 15 to 25 with your other arm. Then you're gonna go to behind the back, behind your glutes, side raises with cuffs. You're gonna hit 15 to 25 there, and then you're gonna do it again with your left arm. If you fail before 15 reps, do a rest pause, do a drop set, use your creativity. If you work on making sure you get at least 15 reps on each one of these things, by the time you get done doing these, you're gonna be smoked. Just one round, if you haven't done this before, will probably make you sore the next day. So I like doing this one for my rear delts. Again, this is a giant set. So the first movement, bent over rear cable raises with cuffs. I do 15 to 25 reps with that on the low pulley. Then I'll do eye level rear cable flies with cuffs. So I'll do 15 to 25 reps like that. Immediately after that, I'll move the cable attachments up. So I'm coming from high to low. That's the third thing. On the last part, you can do a drop set with ISO holds. So let's say it's on the top and you fail at, let's say 10 reps. You're like, shit, that was too heavy. Drop the pin, do a little bit less weight, knock out another 5 reps. If you hit failure again, you can try doing an ISO hold. Most people, they'll look at a video like this and they'll say, oh cool, 15 to 25 reps. They'll pick a random weight and they'll fucking do 16 reps and call it good. And they probably could have done 30. That's too light, bro. If you can do 10 more, you can do 10 more. You're not doing it right, honestly. So when I say failure, I mean you can't physically move that shit more than 16 reps or whatever weight you chose. You're gonna take that shit until you can't fucking lift it anymore. That is what I mean when I say failure. With these things, they're fucking magical. Because guess what, guys? They're only $8 and they make your workouts less boring. Consistency over time is more important than intensity over time. But if you're able to create a situation where you can be consistent over time and be pretty intense over time, that's the magic formula. And these will help you get there. So if you guys try any of these, leave a comment and let me know how it goes. I'll leave a link in the description for the cuffs on Amazon. For these guys for you, by the way, it's an affiliate link, so that means I may earn a few pennies on it if you purchase it. And it doesn't cost you anything, but I will like you more because you're supporting me and this channel. So I have that going for me, which is nice. So if you're into this kind of shit, you can check out my more fantastical, awesome, amazing videos here, or you can see them here.